Today I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to talk a little bit about rackets and my choice of racket and swing paths. All right. So whether you're a flatter player or a topspin player, what racket probably works best for you and why. And I'm going to start with teach you that by talking about my own game. Okay. So I use a way older racket. It's from 2006 and it's the McEnroe Max Ply Graphite. And it's like a 16 by 19 inch string pattern. I want to say it's 97, 98 inch head. It's very tight string pattern and it's 11.1 ounces, I think, and about 330. I've had this on the machine. It's about 330 strung up, if I remember correctly, 333 or something like that. So it's a pretty hefty racket. And as a flatter hitter, it's something that I really gravitated towards. I've tried out a lot of rackets. Head Prestige is another one of my favorites. But with the Head Prestige, again, it's a heavier racket. It's 11.1 ounces, but it's head light. So in practice, when I hit, it feels good and matches. When I get a little bit tighter, I don't have as much confidence swinging my flatter shot through the ball. It sails a little bit, so which is why I went with this McEnroe racket. Any other rackets, more spin rackets, I found are not for me because I am more of a flat hitter. So in practice, there's no nerve. So that's what I look at first when I'm playing and when I'm hitting. Where or how can I hit my shots where I want effectively against any type of level? I'm playing at lower level coaching or higher level and we're doing some fun practice sets, right? So for me, when I'm hitting and I'm playing, when I hit my flatter shots, I feel way more comfortable, and especially at the higher level, they can't really push me around when I hit my flatter shots, when I hit more of my spin ball. And that's why I talked about the classic forehand before. If you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check it out. But for me, I found that I was taught a lot of spin. I used to have a full Western grip that when I hit flatter through the shot, people can't hurt me. All right, so that's what I do. Hit about 12 inches to 2 feet above the net every time, and the more I'm in trouble, the more I really like skimming that net. And so what this racket allows me to do, it's about even balanced. Okay, so I get a lot of pop through the head, and then the string pattern is tight, a little bit bigger head too at 97, 98. So I can really take the ball on the rise or at the apex and flatten down on it. If it gets high on me, I like to come over top of it a lot of times instead of going back on my back foot and pulling up. So this why I like this racket so much. And it's a little bit stiffer, which is one of the downfalls of it. So it generates some more pace. But if you watch McEnroe, when they made this specifically for McEnroe, when he came out of retirement in 2006, he played some doubles on tour. Actually won the doubles final with Yorkman in San Jose and ATP. I want to say it was either 250 or 500 event. And he was like 46 years old at that time. And he also played a lot of the Challenger Tour for the retired pros with this racket. And it's crazy. It gives you a lot of extra pop. So if you do have more of a traditional swing, or maybe you're that player that like you swing really fast and you go up and you come over the ball a lot, then this racket will sort of force you to hit through it because it is a heftier racket and it'll make your ball a little bit flatter through. So it really does help you. I'm a fan of it. And when you watch him, if you watch him play, it's crazy. Watch him play with this racket against Courier on the retirement tour versus when he played Courier back in '92. The dynamic was actually flipped. He was pushing Courier around quite a bit, and that's because this racket gives you a lot of pop with the setup that it has. All right. Now, so how can that help you with your racket pick? Well, if you're a flatter hitter, I would say gravitate towards something with more of a tighter string pattern so that your ball doesn't fly, because you don't want a really high launch angle if you're hitting flatter, because that tends to make you either pull off on it, which gives you that more of that spin, or you end up not having enough confidence not only to not pull off on it, but enough confidence to come over it at the end. Now, the other thing is, besides this tight string pattern, what we're looking for, if you're generally a flatter hitter, is more weight in the head. So this is more evenly balanced. Now, we don't want head heavy, that's beginner level, right? But a little bit more weight in the head. And that's so you can feel the weight of the racket coming through the ball, all right? And compared to more of a headlight racket like my Head Prestige, again, I do really good with that in some practice sets and stuff. But then I really accelerate flat on the ball. So even though they're the same weight, the swing weight is a little bit different. So this swing weight is about 333, and it is a little bit tighter of a string pattern. So when I'm nervous and I start hitting a bigger, flatter ball, I know it's still going to fall on the court. Compared with the Prestige, when I get nervous and I start accelerating a lot faster, it's a lighter swing weight, even though it's the same weight. So I think the Prestige is around 320 something. And it really flies on me because I'm swinging it faster, I'm tight, and then my ball goes out, and then I start trying to hit it into the net, and then I start pulling up off the ball. And especially now that I'm a coach, geez, I try and play 5 to 6 tournaments a year to stay what would be a top 10 in the Southwest ranking here for my boys all the way up to 18s and girls all the way up to 18s. So I maintain that because a lot of times if you can't beat your players, they don't respect you. So I maintain my level, but to a certain extent. But when I'm not playing tournaments a lot, I want something that is something that I can trust right away, because I don't get those matches day in and day out. I probably do 4 tournaments a year. And that's just the reason I play tournaments is because as a coach, I like to remember what the kids are feeling when they're going and playing. If I don't play, I forget that. You really do forget all the little nuances. Even though I played college and I played, USTL growing up, and I was number 1 in the men's open rankings as well for a while. But so that's why I try and play. Besides just keeping up my game for my kids and to make sure they know, all right, I can beat you. Listen to what I'm saying. But I like to play to, all right, this is how this kid feels in this situation. Oh, you know what? In tournaments, yeah, it's a little bit harder to do this because it's like slowed down compared to in practice. We're just free and banging the ball, right? So that's my little spiel about my racket. Why I went with this McEnroe Dunlop Max Ply racket compared to the other rackets on the market. And to be honest, I don't think they have anything. I think the closest thing would be actually the Head Radical. It's pretty even balanced to this racket, but I already got 3 of these. They're good rackets. Why switch up? And a little thing about the industry, if you didn't know, a lot of the pros just do paint jobs anyways. They already love their racket. They already know how it feels. Why would they switch up on the racket, right? So they just sport to different paint jobs. Every once in a while they do change. So hopefully that will help you on your racket journey. Till next time, guys.